it's retrenching, but it's not going away.
Yeah.
What we all learned from the music business, the genie does not go back in the bottle, ever.
Definitely.
The genie never goes back in the bottle. We may get a new genie, but the genie never goes back in the bottle.
Well, I mean, case in point, like major labels didn't go away. You know, just the way that people have interacted with major labels and the artists interact with major labels. Like, you know, one of the things that I've loved, and we might have talked about this last time, is I love the idea that the singles have, like a single has become a thing again. You know, and like artists just put out a lot of singles, and there's kind of a move away from putting out full-length records. They take too much time, they're not cost effective, you don't make enough money, but you can put out a ton of singles here and there. So major labels didn't go away. They got a sharp, like, wake-up call. They reorganized, they figured some stuff out, and they're just doing things in a different way. Some ways really, really good, some ways not as good.
And making more money than ever before.
I did not know that, really.
Major labels have never had higher valuation. Major labels have never had more income. You know, it's interesting because given the generation I'm from, I hear a lot of griping from musicians about the stream rate.
Right.
And I think that's like the false data point to fall on, right? Because you can look at a cost per stream and you can be like, I got to get 1 million streams to make $1,000 or $400 or whatever it is. And it's created ripples and inequality in the market. But my argument would be at the very top of the market, Drake is making more money from streaming than anybody ever made from selling physical product.
Right.
And for all that people attack Spotify, so Universal Music is a publicly traded company. Warner Music's a publicly traded company. Spotify's a publicly traded company. You can go in and anybody can go read their annual reports. Spotify's business challenge is they turn 68 or 69% of gross revenue back to rights holders. Now that may all not stream back to the artist, and there may be some problems there, but basically 70 cents on the dollar goes back to rights holders. Go take Warner's earnings apart or Universal's earnings apart. They're not shedding 70% of top line revenue back to artists. Like I think from my era, if you had an amazing deal, you made $1.50 on a CD that was like wholesaled for $6.75, $7. That's not 70% of the money flowing back to an artist. And that's like before recoups. You know, so it's interesting. And by the way, back to your point about disruption, I think this is a really interesting thing about music. So rock music used to be the great disruptor. What I saw happen during the streaming revolution, and you talk about singles, hip hop leaned into disruption, right? Hip hop's like, it's all singles, it's all guesting. I'm gonna release something every week, every day. It's kind of like the digital version of mixtapes, right? I'm not gonna care about how much money I make on this, I'm just gonna think about it all holistically. Rock music was stuck in the 10 album cycle. I remember when there were bands like AC/DC and the Red Chili Peppers, they're like, you can't break my record apart. That was sequenced perfectly. I want it consumed exactly the way it was sequenced, right? And they were still in the 2-year, you know, record, release, tour cycle, and they were disrupted.
Right, they were disrupted. This is a really cool point, because hip hop, like, that idea around like singles and like hip hop, and I guess like the culture that came out of and surrounds hip hop and then kind of morphed into other things, heavily single centered. And I do remember thinking, like, however many years ago, I was like, that's weird. Like, why don't they just like, why is it so focused on singles versus like albums? And that's a really good reflection. You know, even if we're just thinking about our own bands, our own endeavors. It's like I put out a record in 2020 and people are like, hey, when are you putting out your next record? I'm like, dude, I got like a family, I got a business, I got all this stuff. It's like, yeah, like we're gonna put out an EP. I've got it like most of the way done, but like I don't know when I'm gonna write a LP. But it's like, why don't I just put out a single? Why don't I just put out a couple songs here and there? But it's just not the way that I've done things. And so like I'm not disruptive enough. So I can see how that plays out, not just in like rock music, but also kind of like guitar-driven music has kind of typically been like that.
But I'll tell you something else that, like, it's interesting hip hop did take from our world, which was never the mainstream rock world. It feels to me disproportionately the idea of independent release and owning your own masters and owning your own publishing and not waiting for somebody to pay for your ride hip hop also leaned into, which is the world we came from, right? Major labels wouldn't put out our record, so we put out our own, right? Major labels wouldn't distribute our record, so we distributed our own. That ethos feels embedded in hip hop much more than it ever felt embedded in corporate rock. Like you sort of feel about like, you know, these like artist entrepreneurs, they're disproportionately hip hop artists. They're not disproportionately rock